Hi there, Anthony here from Digital Creator, and in this tutorial, I'm going to show you how you can record and edit your own sound effects. I'll be using the GarageBand app on my iPad to record and alter my sounds, but you can use other free audio editors on your computer or smartphone to achieve the same results. Let's start by recording our voice to create an organic sound, a sound that comes from living, or in this case, once a living thing. I'm actually going to be creating a ghostly wail. Once I tap the audio record button, which is located right up here, I'm just going to do my best ghost impression. Okay, here we go. Okay, let's give that a listen by going back to our track view and pressing the play button. So right now it doesn't sound the most convincing, it just sounds like a guy trying to be a ghost, but we're going to change that through editing. But first, let's remove that static white noise we hear at the beginning and end of our recording. I'm going to do so by going to our track settings, which we can see right here by clicking the track settings button, and then going down to plugins and EQ. And then from here, we can see that there's a noise gate effect that we can apply to our audio. I'm going to open that by hitting the drop down arrow. And what noise gate does is that it silences audio that is quieter than the number of decibels shown. And decibels, dB, is the unit we use to measure how loud audio is. So we're going to play our recording and adjust the threshold until we can no longer hear the white noise. Alright, so for my recording, I required somewhere around negative 39 decibels in order to get rid of the white noise. And it can vary based on your recording, depending on where you're recording and if there's any other background noises where you're at. Now that our audio has been cleaned up, we can start making our sound much more convincing by adding some effects to it. For starters, I'm going to add some reverb. And the way I'm going to do that is that I'm going to go back to where we see the rest of the effects by pressing the back arrow here and going down to Master Effects, and there's an option for adjusting the amount of reverb in our sound. Reverb is short for reverberation, and it occurs when sounds bounce off of objects or surfaces and cause an echoing effect. Large indoor locations like churches can have a lot of reverb because the sounds are trapped within the setting and continue to bounce off surfaces until they diminish. By increasing the reverb, our ghostly wail is going to be given that iconic ghost sound, and I'm also going to add a little bit of echo as well just to make it resonate that much better. Okay, let's give that a listen. So that sounds a bit better already. Next, let's adjust the sound's pitch. Pitch is how high or low your sound's frequency is. By decreasing the pitch, our sound becomes duller and low-pitch sounding, and doing the reverse will result in a more piercing or high-pitched sound. I'm going to do so by double tapping our audio here and going to settings. And then where it says follow tempo and pitch, I'm going to enable it and set the pitch accordingly by using semitones here. So I'm going to go for, let's try out a low pitch sound first. Let's see how that goes. Maybe -3 semitones, give that a try. And let's hear. So you can hear how much lower the sound is now after lowering the pitch. I actually like a higher pitched ghost sound, so I'm going to go back into settings and set it to +3 semitones. Give that another listen. Awesome, that's the ghost sound I'm looking for. But what else can we do with this sound to make it a little bit more convincing? Another thing that we can do is we can actually stretch out the audio so that it becomes a little bit distorted and less human sounding. The way I'm going to do that is that I'm going to go back into the audio settings by double clicking and going to settings. And I'm going to lower the speed on the audio to maybe a half. We'll give that a try and give that another listen. Oh, that's so creepy. Imagine hearing that in the middle of the night. So now we have definitely a much more convincing ghost sound than when we originally started. And you can use different configurations of these settings for other sound effects too, like making a monster roar or even adding more oomph to sound effects that you create with ordinary objects. So now that you know the basics of recording and editing sound effects, why don't you start making your own? You can use objects you find in your house and record them using your smartphone or any other device that has a microphone in it. I certainly hope you enjoyed this tutorial, and I'll catch you on the next one. Have a good one!